लेकिन जो कंटेंट है, अगर लेट्स से मैं फेसबुक हूँ या यूट्यूब हूँ और मैंने कंटेंट क्रिएट करना है और मुझे 3 बिलियन लोग मेरे प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं, अब सारा कंटेंट अगर मैं बनाई जा रहा हूँ, ये तो टीवी चैनल्स भी कर सकते थे ना कि लाइक उनके पास कंटेंट है एंड लेट्स गेट पीपल ऑन बोर्ड, वो नहीं कर सके. देयर इज एन अपर लिमिट टू हाउ मच कंटेंट यू कैन पुट आउट देयर. Even if people are now addicted to that, to sort of your screens, your content, it still has an upper limit, so you want to go past it. So we get people addicted to getting attention. So they create the content so that they can get attention. That gets other people's attention. That gets us more data, and sort of we add a loop on top of a loop, and that sort of keeps going. So we create a content, attention, data, persuasion, money loop.
Does this sort of imply that people were creating attention before the advent of social media?
Great question, and we'll come to it. Short answer, we humans have been the same for ages. At the core, we don't really change. We'll get to how this happens. जब ये शुरू हो रहा था, again, we talked about the promise of social media. I said, I think, and most of us agreed, all of that came true. Unforeseen क्या हुआ इस सारे loop और इस सारी चीज़ की वजह से? Any negatives that happened or any other things that we couldn't see? Sure. Anything else? Sorry? Misinformation? Influencers आ गए. ठीक है. Anything else? Privacy invasion, बिल्कुल सही है. So a bunch of these things, social isolation, bullying is way, way worse in schools, or a bunch of other problems, misinformation and all of these just became exasperated. They became much more, I think, part of our lives. Social media ने चीज़ें create नहीं की, but existing problems were just made much worse in a much shorter time than it was possible before social media. Mainly because वो exponential sort of concept data consumption पे rely करता है, and it's like a loop building on top of a loop, just making use of data much faster. और जैसे हमने naturally sources पहले figure out किए consume करने, now we figure out वही attention and then data. The important thing I think here is कि ये जो जितने problems हमने बात की है, like these negatives, we've only realized them way after. कोई प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकता था कि यार जो वो अगेन रिफ्रेश वाली चीज़ बना रहे हैं या मैकेनिज्म बना रहे हैं, दैट विल लीड टू मोर टीनेज सुसाइड्स इन 15 years. That nobody intended it, and nobody could see that was happening. So that's really important to understand when we sort of figure out technology कहाँ जा रही है. और इसके लिए आई थिंक इम्पॉर्टेंट जो एक कॉन्सेप्ट है वो ये है कि अब सोशल मीडिया इंटैंगल हो चुके हैं हमारी हर लाइफ के पार्ट में. बिजनेसेस उस पर रन हो रहे हैं, गवर्नमेंट्स के लिए बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है, even rescue services के लिए, but also everything else. Like everything relies on this social networking mechanism. So now we can't really just say, यार इसका switch off कर दो, बंद कर दो इसको, because that then turns off a lot of other things that happen in our lives. So we can't really undo the damage or the good side because entangle हो चुका है, it's part of our society, part of the way we live our lives. And my hypothesis is कि ये हमारा humanity's first contact था with AI. सिंपल AI थी, recommended algorithm है, but algorithm nonetheless first contact है, उसने maximize किया जितना वो कर सकता था, and it sort of probably reached its peak a few years ago. अभी तक somewhat plateau हो रहा है in how much it can grow. And second क्या है, probably not a surprise. I think in the form of large language models, we're seeing our second contact again. AI वो भी थी algorithm के level पे, ये भी हैं. It's a second contact with a slightly different kind of algorithm, again based on similar basic technology. इनका क्या promise है? Just like social media का हमने पहले describe किया, what's the promise of AI?